Dubinsky's hand raised. Representative?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And thank you, Mayor Elicker, for coming in. You just said that zoning regulations are currently being used to keep people of color out. Name one.
So first of all, there's a history of this, of redlining, of deed restrictions. I think that was well said by Representative Thomas. And today, you look at the median income of white residents in Connecticut, it's around 84,000. Hispanic residents is around 46,000. Black residents is 43,000. There aren't explicit policies, but it is clear that it is near impossible for certain people to live in certain communities because of the zoning regulations.
Yeah, I can't live in Greenwich. I can't afford it. It has nothing to do with zoning. It has to do with my income. So you made a very blatant statement that that towns and cities in this state currently, as of today, are using zoning to discriminate against people of color and to keep them from moving into their towns. Name them.
I think it's quite clear that income is related to someone's ability to access housing and to move into places like Greenwich.
Well, of course it is. I can't move to Greenwich because I can't make enough money. It has nothing to do with the color of my skin. It has to do with my job. It has to do with my lifestyle. It has to do with my history. It has to do with my upbringing. It has to do with my family.
Representative Dubinsky, that is exactly my point. It has to do with your history, just as it has to do with my history as a white person that grew up in a privileged background, that had enough funding, a stable house under my head to allow me the ability to get enough revenue to live in stable housing. The history of many, many Black people in the state of Connecticut and around the nation is just the opposite. And it's our responsibility, all of our responsibility, to work to undo that. Okay, and housing is a vital way that we can do so.
You're skirting the question. The question is, you made a bold statement that there are towns currently, as of today, discriminating against people because of the color of their skin, by use of zoning regulations. So I challenge you, name those towns.
Representative Dubinsky, historically, it was done explicitly. Today, it is done in a more creative way, but it still exists.
Where?
In many of the suburban towns.
Which ones?
In our state.
Which town?
Greenwich, New Canaan, you name it.
So Greenwich and New Canaan are now actively discriminating against people of color with their zoning regulations. Is that your statement?
Correct. There are many towns around the state that use zoning to prevent poor people, and including because average or median income is low for people of color, from moving into their towns.
Okay, but you're now mixing poor people and people of color. Are you saying that they're the same thing? That all?
No, I am not, Representative Dubinsky, but the median income of Black residents and Hispanic residents in the state is much, much lower than the median income of white residents. The zoning policies are perpetuating segregation.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm done with him.
Thank you, Representative. I see Representative Fiorello has her hand raised.
Hi, Mayor Elicker. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, I can't help but I feel it begs the question, where is the evidence that Greenwich is using zoning rules to keep people of color out? Is that what you said, Mayor Elicker?
Yes, it is what I said. And
so what is your evidence for that?
I will repeat that historically it has been done very explicitly. Now it is done in a way that is more creative, but still perpetuates the issue where people of color are unable to access housing in many of our suburban towns.
Are you under the impression that Greenwich is all white?
No, I am not, but it is predominantly white.
It's actually 30% Hispanic. Are you aware of that?
I'm not aware of the specific statistics around Greenwich.
Okay, well, Greenwich is very diverse, as our first selectman attested. It's 27% non-white.
I-
So is that
I-
not enough? Or you made an incredible accusation against my town, and I'd like to understand how to wrap my mind around it. And please enlighten me. This is illegal activity, you know, to use zoning and to keep people of color out. I mean, this is absolutely illegal. So I'd like to understand.
There are implicit ways to do this, and there are not implicit ways to do this. And places like Greenwich and Woodbridge and New Canaan and other towns are using zoning to keep out communities of color. Let's be clear about it.
Okay, well, I guess if you keep saying it, I mean, you can keep saying it, it doesn't make it true. And unless you have real evidence to prove it, I think this is quite a statement for Mayor Elicker to be making against the town of Greenwich. So, okay, I'll have to come back. Thank you.